Hey guys, Buckskin Dave here. Well, today I'm going to work with the 300 Winchester Magnum. It's kind of turned into one of my favorite cartridges now. And, you know, I might call it a forgotten cartridge. I realize it's one of the most popular cartridges out there now. When I say it's forgotten, what I mean by that a lot of the times is one of the new guys on the block, one of the new kids on the block, kind of took over for it in certain situations that it was used for. So anyway, it is one of my favorite rounds. I'm sure it's one of yours. One of the reasons I like it is it's a 30 caliber, which I like. It takes all the components for it except for the brass is the same as my 308 or a 30-06 or any of the other 30 caliber cartridges. I'm a 308 man. My first rifle was a 308. You know, professionally, I've used 308 rifles, and both for hunting and I've had a few 30-06s over the years. I don't have one now, mainly because I have two 25-06s, and I do not want to get those two confused. Stick a 25 in an 06, and besides, the 308 and the 300 Win will do everything the 06 will do. And what I like about the 300 Win, if you load your own stuff, you can load it down to 308, you could load it to a 30-06, or if you're going after large bears or something like that, or whatever, you can load that baby up with a 210, 20 grain bullet and get it cooking pretty good. So it's really turned into an all-purpose rifle in that 30 caliber range. So anyway, I've got some stuff I got to load here. I want to get my hunting rifle tuned in because that's starting real close here. And then we're going to do a couple other things pertaining to the Winchester Magnum, the 300 Win. So stick around. And as always, get yourself a cup of Black Rifle coffee, and let's talk about this cartridge, and we're going to shoot it too. The 300 Win Mag is a belted Magnum, and there's three that are belted that I know. You know, I mean, there's a lot of belted Magnums. The three Winchester Magnums, you have the 7mm Winchester Magnum, you have 300 Win Mag, and you also have the 338 Winchester Magnum. Those three shells are I don't know if you can see it, there's a belt right here at the base. That's a fat part of the deal. And what that belt is that's where the cartridge actually headspaces off of that belt. And it's a lot of people don't like it. I kind of do. Because once you've fire the round and your case expands to your chamber, when you reload that, even if you full length size it a little bit, when you reload that, you know, your case is pretty much the same size as your chamber, and it head spaces off of that belt. And so that's, I don't know, I kind of like it, but a lot of people don't. Anyway, I'm going to prime the rest of these. And one of the things we're going to do is, do you ever wonder what the big difference is, other than what they say, between a flat back bullet and a boat tail bullet? They tell you the thing flies flatter and maybe gives you better velocity and stuff of that nature, less wind resistance, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What does it actually do for you? Personally, I like boat tail bullets, okay? I bought into everything and I just use them. But I've got a box of 180 grain Spitzer flat base bullets, and I got some 180 grain soft tip boat tail bullets. They're both exactly the same, except one's a boat tail. So I'm going to load up a few of them. We're going to load boat tails, but I'm going to load a few of those flat base ones up, and we'll run them through the Crony and see if there's any difference, and then maybe I'll see if I can do something on one of my gongs where we can shoot one and then aim for that spot, that same spot, and see if it at 100 yards or 150 yards, see if it comes out a little different. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and prime these. Go ahead and get you some coffee, and I'll be with you in a minute. All right, so my pet load for this rifle, boat tail bullets, all I mostly use, is for the 180 grain is 74 grains of IMR 7828. And I got this thing measuring them out for me. I'm doing 5 rounds of the square-backed 7828, 74 grains, and I'm going to the 10th of grain, and the same with the boat tails. So we'll have 5 of each to kind of see what if there is a difference. So 74 grains, 7828, perfect. And so there's that one's boat tail. So okay, I'm going to shoot this square back bullet first. Let's just see what kind of velocities I'm getting. See if it's close to the same that I've always got. So this is a flat back or square back bullet. And 74 grains, 7828, it's all, everything's the same except that square back bullet. And oh, just a ½ inch high dead center on that. That's going 3,030 today for that square back. That's pretty cool. Okay, so man, I'll tell you, today ain't working. Anyway, some of you were saying you wanted to see it hit, so I'm going to spin you around and zoom you in. So the last one was third part. Let's see what this one is. Shoot one more and then we'll have to let that cool. This will be boat tail bullet. Let's see if there's any big difference in velocity. It's 180 grains and they're both Sierras, so let's see what happens. Well, it hit flat about the same. 3,009. That's less than the flat back. Sometimes I have to remind myself this is a hunting rifle, it has a skinny barrel, and on a hot day like this you got to take care with that. So let's try another one. They seem to be going to the same place up and down at 150 yards, even with the velocity being actually got a lot more deviation than I like to have. All right, let's see what this other one does. All right, where you at? Oh, there you are. Here we go. .30-23. That other one must have been a fluke. So now they're staying within the 3 shots, 2 of them with the 2 shots with the square backs and 2 shots with this are staying within 7 to 8 grains or velocity feet per second difference, which is where I like them. But there's really not a lot of difference between the two at this muzzle velocity. They're kind of in the same deal, and they're hitting pretty much in the same spot, maybe Oh, I'd say those boat tails are just a ½ inch higher than the other ones. You know, when it hits the plate, it splatters, but you can tell it's a little higher. So if this wind doesn't pick up, which it's looking like it's going to try to, let's try some longer range stuff. See if there's a big difference. Velocity wise, I don't see a big difference anyway. And they're both staying within that 7 to 10, under 10 feet per second deviation. So this rifle is sighted in, however, and I'll show you what I do on this. This is a hunting rifle. This scope is in mils. So I have to remember, because everything else I got's MOA, and this one's in mils. And for a hunting rifle, it doesn't matter. I don't adjust it that much. But what I have here, see, I have all my ranges figured out on here. And we're going to try like maybe a 450 or 400 yard shot here in a minute with those 2 different kinds of bullets and see what happens. But I'm going to let her cool down and see what this wind's going to do. The wind isn't bad enough to affect my shooting enough for this sight in. What it's bad at is it makes it really irritating for you to watch the video with that wind. So anyway, we'll let this cool down, get you some more coffee, and we'll pick it up here in a minute. Okay, it's one of them squarebacks I'm going to try. It's 452 yards. So we'll adjust the scope. 2 mils. We'll go past, back, lock. I got you set on that target out there. Just keep an eye out in the middle of the screen and you should see the dirt fly. There's a piece of steel out there. I think it hit the steel. Oh yeah, that one hit the steel dead center. You probably saw a little puff. What happens is that steel is kind of tucked back into that rock, so when it hits, it splatters, and inside that little kind of cave, it makes a big puff of dirt. Those are square base, and they were flying. Okay, here comes another one. This is a boat tail. 450 and change yards. Okay, that hit it. These things are running really good. I'm going to shoot another one while the barrel's cool. Keep an eye out. Nice. That wind kind of pretty much ended what we were doing out there. I don't think it was bothering the rifle as much as it was bothering, I know, and that you're not going to be able to hear well. And I played back some of it, and you did hear okay. One of the things I did when I did play it back, I saw that the sun washed out when I showed you this, how I do my, I'll let that focus maybe. And I put my Well, my ballistics are right there. This one's going to have to be tweaked just a little, it looks like. But it took me a while to get all that copper out of there. There was quite a bit. When you sizzle these babies out at 3,000 or above 3,000, it'll leave some copper. But one thing I did ascertain is for hunting, okay, flat back, boat tail, I mean for the distances, I don't know, I only took one shot at 1,000, but, and it was off probably because of wind. The, I don't know, I mean I like the boat tail. One of the things the boat tail is nice for when you're loading it, okay, the little boat tail fits in there and holds the bullet kind of good and straight, a little bit straight when you ram it up in to seat it. I do like that. And it might just fly a little better with less wind resistance and all that. But it looked like out to 500 yards it's going to go the same place the boat tail bullet does, flat tail or square back or boat tail. So it's 180 grains, going about the same speed. I didn't see any difference in speed. There's probably differences that more sensitive and different equipment or better equipment would pick up. For a hunter, I don't think it makes much difference. If you can't find boat tails, you got square backs, they'll work. So that was one thing that seemed to be ascertained. The rifle sighted in. I did want to shoot it at 200 and all that, but the way this is sighted in from 0 to 300 yards on a elk or a deer, if I put it in the center of the chest, and if it's at 300 yards, you put it an inch high on the chest, it's going to go right where I want it to do. Actually, in the center of the chest at 300 yards, if it drops an inch, which it might, that's just going to put it closer to the heart. So for hunting, this thing's ready to go. Right and left it was fine. So anyway, well, that's all I got this time. The wind kind of screwed us. We'll definitely take you along next time I go out with this one and shoot, and we'll shoot a little longer. I'd like to try to hit that gong out there and get 1,000 just for yucks. Like I say, this is a hunting gun. Very rarely I shoot over 300 yards. 2 years ago I did take a 210 yard shot at an elk, and like I say, put it where you want it to go and it's right there. So anyway, that's all I got this time. Stay with the channel. I'll catch you next time on Buckskin Dave. You guys have a great day, and thanks for stopping by for a cup of coffee. I really enjoy it. Bye-bye.